Okay, so you can create your own custom activities by going to custom activities, then clicking on create custom activities and naming your activity. So we're just going to call this a demo activity. Okay, and now we're going to add some content. So here I'll just select grade 5 and we'll pick a B1.1 expectation. So there's 27 questions there. So I'm going to go to show the questions, kind of browse through them to see which one I'd like to select. So once you choose one that you like, you're going to go to add to this activity. Okay. Now we're going to go done adding for a second. So another way we can what we can do, sorry, with custom activities is that we can create our own question. So we're going to go here to create question. And then we have to go to edit question. And now we can kind of type in the question that we need. On the bottom here is the student preview. So what the question would look like for the student. So what I'm going to show you here is we're going to take a methodology question and adapt it and put it into Knowledgehook. So this is the question that I pre-selected. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy the text, bring it back to Knowledgehook, and then just paste it in here. And then underneath, I'm going to snip the picture, and I'm just hitting Shift, the window key, and S. And I'm going to select this graph, just like so, and literally copy or paste it into here. Now it looks a little bit big, so we can kind of shrink it a little bit, just like so. Okay. And now I'm just going to press enter because I have to put the question in. So finish putting the question in. So I'm going back here. This time, what I'm going to do, I will kind of copy this. However, I'm going to adapt it. And I'm going to change this question to how many more grade 5 students are in school B compared to school A. And I'm just going to take the how do you know out. So there, I just kind of tweaked the question. And now, instead of a multiple choice, I'm just going to do a free form. And I'm going to put the correct answer as 5. Okay, and then I'm just going to delete answer. Yeah, we can kind of delete the other answers because there's only one possible answer, and then we're going to hit save. Okay, now we just created our own question that we adapted from Mathology. Okay, now we're just going to hit done editing for a second, and we're going to go back to activities. Let's say you wanted to add a question from one of the EQAO release questions. Okay, so you're going to go back to the EQAO release questions. Okay, and let's say this time we wanted inequalities question. So we're just going to hit view. And we're going to take a look at the questions. and I'm going to pick question 2, and I want to add question 2 to my custom activity. So all I do is click here, add to. There's my demo activity, the one I've been working on. So I'm going to click that, and it's added. So to go and check, we're going to go back to activities, custom activities. Now we're going to find our demo. I think it's on the 4th page. There it is. And then we're just going to view. And there was the first question that I picked from B1.1. The second question that I created from methodology. And then the third question that comes from EQAO. Okay. Now I can assign it as a mission or play it as a game show. Okay. So Sarah will now be talking about the reports tab.
All right, so now you know how you can assign missions or game shows and how your students do questions, but then what do you do with that information? How do you get that information? So I'm actually going to go out because we don't want to share any student names. I'm going to go into a demo class where there's just like some fake students so that we're not looking at any real data here, okay? And we're going to go into the reports and just see these kind of made up reports that Knowledgehook made up. So you can see all of the missions that were assigned and game shows that were played. Okay, so those show up here. And then you want to look at the results of a specific one. So you go to view. And there's some really good data in here. So I'm just going to go to the report. This one has report 1, report 2, and growth because they copied the mission and did it twice so they could see if students improve. That's what growth does. All right, so then you can go here and you can see how all of the students did, right? So they've got the names hidden here, but we can unhide them because they're not real names. So Gavin did multiple attempts on question 1 and then eventually got it right. That's what the blue tick means. And then they didn't get question 2. You can see the ones they got right. So it can let you see specific questions that individual students need to work on. And then you can also see some class data. So this chart that shows up here, it puts it in order from the question that was answered the least well to the question that was answered the best. So question 1 here, only 33% of students got it correct. So then you want to know like, okay, well, what was that question? What were the misunderstandings? Then you go here under question 1. We want to see the first attempts because that's what that chart is based on. And we can see what incorrect answers most of our students picked. So 2 picked this one, 4 picked this one. And that kind of lets us know what the misconception is when we can see like how many people picked an incorrect answer. The other thing you want to do with those ones that your students struggled with, like question 1, is anytime there's a light bulb, there's some teacher supports, okay? This gives you some common misconceptions and what to do about it. So you go into view teacher supports and it will give suggestions of what to do next. Okay, so what are the misconceptions and what can I do about it? So it opens up as a document and then it's saying, that this might be the problem that students are having. They believe that different numbers in 2 ratios mean the ratios can't be equivalent. Okay, so they don't realize that 1 to 2 could be the same as 2 to 4. Because the numbers are different. So then it gives you ideas of what you can do. And then there's other, like depending on what misconceptions you're noticing with your students, gives you lots of different ideas of what you can do. Okay. And we talked about the measure growth already. There's some math background. This is like more for you if you're like, okay, I want some more information on this topic so that I understand it better. You can go here and it'll talk about background with whatever the math topic was. Okay, so maybe you just want to have like a deeper understanding for yourself and it could give you some more things to share with your students. And then they have intervention questions. So these are additional questions you can give to your students because if they didn't do well on something, you know they need more work on that topic. Okay, so the students did poorly with this ratio question, so it gives you a whole bunch of additional questions to do with ratios that you could give them so that they can continue their learning around that. So really good data in that report section. That's it for our Knowledgehook video. And remember,
from 0 to infinity, we got your math journey covered.